Chris had just gotten the promotion he'd been working toward for years. A pay bump, a new title, more respect. He celebrated by leasing a sleek new car. Moved into a nicer apartment. Upgraded his phone. Bought clothes that screamed success. And to everyone watching, it looked like he had finally made it. But what they didn't see were the unopened credit card bills stuffed in a drawer. The bank account that dipped below zero 3 days before payday. Or the anxiety that kept him awake, night after night. Chris thought he was getting richer. But slowly, silently, the bills started piling up. And by the time he realized what was happening, it was almost too late. This is a story millions of people are living right now. On the outside? Progress. On the inside? Panic. It's the hidden cost of looking successful, and the trap that turns more income into more stress. Because the truth is, your income can go up, but your wealth can go down. In this video, you'll walk through Chris's journey, from confident spender to overwhelmed debtor, and learn the exact mistakes that turn raises into ruins. You'll see the real reason so many high earners feel broke, and how to escape the illusion, before it breaks you too. Chapter 1. Meet Chris. The promotion. Chris was 29, living in a modest apartment, working as a digital marketing specialist. He was good at what he did. Ambitious. And after 4 years of climbing the ladder, the promotion finally came. $65,000 a year became $85,000. A 30% jump overnight. And just like that, his world felt different. He walked into work with a new confidence. Ordered cocktails instead of beers. Finally ditched his clunky used car for a shiny BMW lease. This is what progress feels like, he told himself. For the first time, he felt ahead. Not just surviving, thriving. But here's what he didn't do. He didn't adjust his budget. He didn't build an emergency fund. He didn't ask, what's my net worth now? He felt richer, so he spent like he was. New apartment. New furniture. Streaming services. Smart home tech. Gym memberships. Everything he'd held off on suddenly became a yes. And it felt good. For a while. Until the bills came in. $620 for the car lease. $2,100 for the apartment. $450 on a credit card he didn't remember using. $87 on Uber Eats. 3 days in a row. He told himself it was temporary. Just a big month, I'll rein it in next time, but next time never came. Chapter 2. The Good Life, at what cost? As the months went on, Chris leaned deeper into his new life. He became the guy who picked up bar tabs. Booked weekend getaways, to recharge, ordered groceries online and paid extra for delivery. Why not? He was making more money now. Friends complimented him on his new style. Coworkers noticed his confidence. Instagram loved him. He was living the dream. Except he wasn't. Each month, his expenses edged just slightly above his income. $300 over 1 month. $500 the next. Nothing drastic. Nothing he couldn't fix next time, so he started floating the difference on a credit card. Then a second one. And just like that, the snowball began. He was still making $85,000 a year. But with rent, bills, car, travel, and interest payments, he was spending $92,000. He started juggling. Paying the minimum on one card to cover the other. Using buy now pay later options to manage cash flow. Skipping dinners with friends, not to save money, but because he couldn't afford the Uber. His confidence started slipping. His anxiety grew. But he kept up appearances. Because saying, I can't afford it, felt like failure. And besides, didn't success look like this? He thought more money would solve everything. What he didn't know, more money with the same habits just creates bigger problems. Chapter 3. The tipping point. It wasn't one big thing that broke him. It was a bunch of little ones. A parking ticket. A chipped tooth that needed fixing. A last-minute flight to see family. His laptop died right before a deadline. Each one seemed manageable. But each one added to the pile. His emergency fund? Still non-existent. His credit cards? Maxed out. His paycheck? Gone before it hit the account. He started ignoring calls from unknown numbers. Letting emails from creditors pile up unopened. Then came the tipping point. One day, he tried to buy groceries, and the card declined. Then another. He had $17 in his checking account. And payday was 5 days away. That night, something cracked. He sat alone, surrounded by unopened envelopes. Added up all his balances. $26,430 in credit card debt. $7,300 owed on his car. $900 behind on utilities. He was $34,000 in the hole. And he had no idea how it had happened. But deep down, he did. He had thought he was getting richer. In reality, he was spending faster than he was earning. His raise became his ruin, not because of greed, but because of unawareness. He didn't track. He didn't budget. He didn't plan. He thought income equals success. But now, success felt like suffocation. Chapter 4. When it all comes crashing down, the calls turned into threats. The threats turned into consequences. One of his cards went to collections. His credit score dropped 112 points. His rent check bounced. And his employer, unknowingly, sent an "Are you okay?" email, because his work had started to suffer. Chris couldn't sleep. He couldn't focus. He couldn't think about anything else but the debt. He was drowning, not just financially, but emotionally. Every choice felt like a trap. He considered taking a second job. Selling his car. Even moving back in with his parents, an idea that felt like total failure. He started avoiding friends. Deleted his social apps. Felt like a fraud every time someone said, "You're killing it, man." Eventually, he broke. Not dramatically. Just a quiet moment. He looked in the mirror and said, "I don't know who I'm pretending for anymore." That night, he opened every envelope. Made a spreadsheet. And for the first time in months, he faced the truth. It was worse than he thought. But strangely, it felt better. Because finally, he was done running. Chapter 5. What he learned the hard way. Chris started learning about money. Not just how to make it, but how to keep it. He realized, a raise means nothing if your spending rises with it. Lifestyle inflation is invisible, until it strangles you. Impressing others is expensive, and pointless. Budgeting isn't restriction, it's clarity. He began tracking every dollar. Cancelled half his subscriptions. Started cooking at home. Traded his BMW for a reliable used car. And slowly, he started breathing again. He read books. Watched finance videos. Took accountability. And perhaps the biggest realization? Net worth is more important than income. Because for years, Chris had been growing his paycheck, but shrinking his financial stability. He'd been living in what looked like abundance, but was actually debt. He didn't need a second job. He needed a second mindset. A mindset of intentionality. Of planning. Of saying no now, to say yes later. Chapter 6. Building back right. Chris made a new kind of plan, not for status, but for peace. He started the debt snowball. Paid off the smallest card first. felt momentum, then tackled the next. He set up automatic savings, started building a $1,000 emergency fund, then 3 months of expenses. He started celebrating different wins, cooking 5 nights in a row, paying a bill early, saying no to a purchase, and feeling good about it. He wasn't just saving money. He was becoming someone different. Someone who was proactive, not reactive. Someone who chased freedom, not flexing. Someone who valued peace over image. In 2 years, he paid off $27,000. Built a 6-month emergency fund. Started investing. Took a vacation, paid for in cash. And the biggest change? He could sleep again. Because he knew where his money was. He knew what mattered. And he never wanted to go back. Conclusion: Chris thought he was getting richer, until the bills started piling up. He didn't overspend because he was dumb. He did it because he believed what so many of us believe, that more money equals more freedom. That success has to look a certain way. That budgeting is for broke people. But the truth? Freedom is in the choices you make, when nobody's watching. We live in a world that celebrates spending, that glorifies image, that hides financial stress behind filters. But what if we did it differently? What if we made peace the goal, not possessions? What if your next raise became a path to wealth, not stress? What if you stopped trying to look rich, and actually became free? Chris made that shift. And you can too. If this story felt familiar, drop a comment. Share your experience. Let's normalize the real journey, not just the highlight reel. Like this video if it helped you breathe easier. Subscribe for more stories that speak truth, and teach strategy. Because the truth is, you don't need more. You need enough, and a plan.